Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of Capital Market. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. Well, we'll be looking at how the week fared at the market during the week, and so we begin with the trading figures. Our key indicators ended the week in negative territory in spite of gains recorded on Thursday and Friday. Now, the all-share index shed 3.68% to end the week at 29,034.89. Market capitalization also depreciated by 3.09% to 9.67 trillion naira. On the sectoral indices table, all the indices finished lower during the week, with the exception of the NSE Oil and Gas Index that inched up by 1.59%, while NSE RCM Index closed flat. On the price movement chart, Julius Berger, Dangote Flour, and Diamond Bank were the top three losers for the week. On the other hand, investors favored the shares of Presco, USCN, and Cotex, making them the three top gainers for the week. At the end of the week, total value of equities traded came in at 16.58 billion naira, staked on 1.66 billion shares and exchanged in 23,591 deals. In the meantime, the negative close of the capital market last year is said to have been orchestrated by the uncertainties that surrounded the economy. Well, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema, had his year review of the market during the week and says he's hopeful the market will see full recovery after the election. Let's take a listen.
The air of uncertainty that hovered over the Nigerian capital market through 2014 caused investors to increasingly adopt a flight to quality strategy. Despite the MSCI Frontier Market Index rebalancing event in May of 2014, which headlined an increase in Nigeria's weighting in the index, this positive event was not enough to reverse the downward trend already prevalent in the market. As of December 31st, 2014, total NSE market cap had retreated 11.53% to 16.88 trillion naira. Nigeria's 2015 macroeconomic performance is expected to be influenced by a number of variables, including crude oil prices, foreign exchange movements, national security, global financial markets, fiscal and monetary policies, as well as the outcome of the 2015 elections. Post-elections, we anticipate that elimination of some of the uncertainties highlighted above may lead to stability in the equities markets. However, a strengthening dollar may continue to precipitate foreign portfolio investment reversals, which remains a real threat to the Nigerian capital market. The NSE is unwavering in its commitment to solidify its leadership position as Africa's foremost securities exchange, and is committed to initiatives that will position the bourse as an attractive listing and investment destination. In support of the federal government's reforms, the Nigerian Stock Exchange intends to continue to provide a viable platform to support the financing and sustainable development of the real economy.
That was the Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Stock Exchange. Well, another interesting thing that happened in the Nigerian capital market during the week is the formal handover of the outgoing Securities and Exchange Commission DG, Mr. Rumaute, to the Executive Commissioner Operations in the Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Manuel Wazo, as the Acting Director General. Now, Ms. Ote, who came in as the DG of SEC in January 6, 2010, described her 5-year tenure at the Commission as absolutely outstanding, but attributed it to the cooperation she received from every member of staff. However, some dealing members of the Nigerian capital market have given their assessment of her tenure and, of course, their expectations from the new person. Let's listen to this report put together by our correspondent, Temple Ashaju.
Following the expiration of her tenure as the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ms. Aroma Ote reportedly sought an extension by 1 more term. But this was unsuccessful, and the SEC went ahead to release a statement last week on her exit.
The tenure of Aroma Ote has been very, very controversial. And based on that, I saw her exit as a welcome development.
For the last part of her stay there, there was no allocation to that, to that sector. So she ran with internally generated revenue, which is a case we have not seen before.
If you look at the market, you discover that there's transparency in the market, investor confidence very high, and apart from that, you also discover that during tenure, the issue of the infraction was drastically reduced.
Ms. Ote had started a recapitalization project for the market operators. The stockbroking community is divided on the sustainability of this exercise.
I know he will not do that. He will not do that. He understands the terrain of these markets, and he knows that we don't actually need it.
One would expect a review. One would expect that somebody sits back and say, is it really worth asking a stockbroker to have 300 million when his business is brokerage? What is obtainable in other climes? How much are others using? Interestingly, at 70 million, we are comparable even to US.
I don't think that the SEC will want to reverse that. They will still want to continue, though it has been extended. But I still see that the new DG, the acting DG, will continue that policy.
The professional background of Ms. Aroma Ote was a major factor to the controversies that she had during her tenure. The fact that the acting DG was once a stockbroker seems to be a relief to the stockbroking community. From the Nigerian stock market, Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
Well, we'll take a short break. When we return, we will look at some of those issues, the figures that came in this week, and of course, those issues happening there at the Securities and Exchange Commission. To stay with us.
Where's the doctor? Madam, calm down. Calm down. What's wrong with your baby?
Is this medicine I gave her?
Oh, madam, I think this might be a case of adverse drug reaction.
Eh?
Let me take you to see the doctor.
Well, let's go.
No, madam, she's okay. She just reacted to the medicine.
But I thought this medicine is good.
So even though the medicine is good, people can still have adverse drug reactions to medicine. If you observe any adverse reaction to any medicine, hurry to your nearest healthcare provider or contact the National Pharmacovigilance Center by sending a free SMS on MTN, Glo, and Etisalat to this short code 20543 to report any reaction. As for me, I'm a pharmacovigilante.
This message is brought to you by the National Pharmacovigilance Center, NAFDAC, in collaboration with the National Malaria Elimination Program, Federal Ministry of Health, and supported by Global Fund.
Welcome back. We'll now go straight to the conversation for today, and I have a market analyst here with me, Abel Ezekiel. Good evening, Abel.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Well, I just want to begin with what the activities at the market this week. Looking at the figures, yeah, we saw the change in trend.
Yeah.
That was on Thursday and Friday. Now, we saw Seplat reversing those negative trend. And of course, some market analysts say it's as a result of the rebound experienced at the international oil market.